What is up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another Monday morning Comically Boston podcast where we will discuss this week's weekly nerdy news. And we got a decent one. We got some movie posters. We got some big Grand Theft Auto 6 news that we'll jump in and dive and talk about. We got a new Thunderbolts poster. Title change? We're figuring out what that asterisk means. For the people that haven't seen that movie, you might want to avoid social medias because Marvel has confirmed the new title, but we'll talk about that later. We also got some Fantastic Four Avengers Doomsday speculation along with some DC news, and then we're going to finish it talking about some baddies from the Met Gala from 2025. But this episode is episode 265 of Comically Boston, and we're going to kick it right off with some movie posters. First one being Spike Lee's new movie that came out with the trailer the other day. I didn't get to see it, but I've heard good things. People were really popping off about it. A$AP Rocky's in it. Denzel Washington's in it. It's called Highest to Lowest, a new Spike Lee joint coming this summer. Very interesting. There's another movie coming July 2nd only to Netflix with CHARLIZE Theron returning for The Old Guard 2. I've heard decent things about The Old Guard 1. It's decent enough to get a second movie, so I might have to go check out that Old Guard 1 before July. And comment below if you've seen it. Is it any good? Now, a new movie coming soon. Coming up in June 13th, it comes out from director Celine Song, starring two of my favorites and one of my least favorites, Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. I'll let you guys decide which one I don't like out of those three. But we also have some character posters, and this movie's called The Materialist, and Chris Evans plays like an ex-boyfriend that is like the actual love of Dakota Johnson's life, and Pedro Pascal plays like the new rich boyfriend that's perfect. But there's something about this movie where like he can buy her flowers and buy her fancy dresses and take her to fancy restaurants. But I think the main premise of this movie is like kind of not necessarily rom-com, more like romantic, where Pedro Pascal is this rich guy, and it doesn't matter how much he can buy her or, you know, treat her fancily, where broke Chris Evans' character just knows how to love her. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between being able to give her everything she wants and to be able to give her what she needs. You know what I mean? Like some people just from their presence alone can soothe you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But that's a movie I'm probably going to check out, an A24 film, so who knows, it could take a horrible turn at the end. But another movie that I am very interested to see what goes on with it, and there was another trailer that dropped this morning that looks really good, and every time I see more and more things from this movie, I'm like, you know what, yeah, it looks really good. But starring Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Kerry Condon, and Javier Bardem in the F1 movie. It also has some F1 people in there. I saw Max Verstappen. I'm pretty sure Lewis Hamilton was one of the people that were driving the cars for them. But, you know, it looks pretty insane for a F1 movie and them like actually driving around these cars and shit. Like, that's wild. One of my more anticipated movies, because I really like this franchise, but the last movie of the Godzilla x Kong New Empire movie was pretty good. So the newest Godzilla movie has gotten its title, and it had like a little teaser trailer get released the other day to announce this title. And the new title is called Godzilla x Kong Supernova. Now, I'm pretty sure it's just Godzilla Kong Supernova, but if you remember from last year, we say the X. Like, Godzilla Kong New Empire? No, Godzilla X Kong New Empire. I mean, they're going to put it on the title anyways, you know, like, say the X. But on to some Grand Theft Auto news, and some sad news, but also some great news, because Grand Theft Auto was supposed to come out later this fall, but it has been delayed to May 26th of 2026, so we're about a year out from that now, and we were less than a year, but now we're a year, and if I'm being honest with y'all, I think we're probably going to get delayed from May again, just like Red Dead Redemption got delayed twice, and it was fall, then it was spring, and then it got moved to the fall again, so I think we're going to be coming out October of 2026 is when I actually think this will drop. But we did get a second trailer dropped for this, and the trailer looked so good. And I don't even remember when the first trailer dropped, but I remember it like leak dropped. And this trailer starts with, "Hey, Jason," one of the characters, "what are you doing up there?" "Oh, just patching some leaks on his roof," you know, which is like what Rockstar's been doing, patching leaks, you know. And they released like character information about the two leads and a plot detailed reveal. And the plot reads, set in Vice City. So going back to Vice City, like the old GTA Vice City game. And our two leads, Jason and Lucia, have always known that the deck is stacked against them. But when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America, in the middle of a conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida, which is like Florida, but the Vice City state, island, I don't know. Forced to rely on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. So it sounds like instead of playing as three characters, we're going to be playing as kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type of couple. We'll play as her, we'll play as him, and we'll go back and forth type of thing. But, you know, there's been tons of speculation online and breakdowns about this trailer, and very interesting. But here's a Jason Duval character description. Jason wants an easy life, but things just keep getting harder. Jason grew up around grifters and crooks. After a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens, he found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best, working for a local drug runner. It might be time to try something new. So Jason is looking for a new career, and he's been working for a drug lord in Leonida. If anything happens, I'm right behind you. Another day in paradise, right? Meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out, but right now, it's hard to tell. So it seems like maybe their relationship's going to go on a rocky path, and it might not be just smooth sailing. It might be, you know, kind of like a relationship in real life. It's very complicated. It goes up and down, you know. But now our Lucia Camino's character description. Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk, and I believe her background of a character is she's like a fighter, but life has been coming at her swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary, which we see in the trailer. She's locked up and then she gets out. And it seems like she gets out and wants to get right back to work, if you know what I mean. But sheer luck got her out, and Lucia learns her lesson. Only smart moves from here. So Lucia's trying to make smart moves. She doesn't want to go back to penitentiary. But what sheer luck got her out of jail? Now, this might be a spoiler, but it's also just a theory going around that Jason might be an undercover cop. And if he is kind of like a Brian O'Connor from Fast and the Furious, if you know what I mean, and he's working with the bad guys, but he's undercover for the cops at the same time, maybe that's how he got Lucia out. You know, maybe he's undercover in the first place, working with these guys. Maybe he's not necessarily a cop, but maybe he's working with them to, as a former military guy, you know, so he's qualified to handle a rifle or whatever, and he probably knows these streets better than the police. So maybe they got him on board to do like a, hey, help us catch these guys and we'll do you a favor type thing. And he's like, could you get my girl out of the slammer? And maybe that's what he did it all for. I don't blame him. I mean, shit, if you've seen Lucia from the the trailers, people are like, God damn, I've never seen a character look so goddamn sexy in my life. But this month of May for 2026 has now gotten packed with GTA 6, Avengers Doomsday, and a Star Wars movie all dropping in May of 2026. Hopefully by that time next year I'm going to be able to take off that entire month, because I'll tell you what, the moment GTA drops, I think we're going to need, all of us that are into that game, we're going to need a good 2 weeks to play that game without any work. You know what I mean? We're just going to have to be sitting there just living GTA for a couple weeks. But goddamn. And that second trailer dropped within a couple days. It had over 475 million views on all platforms, and just absolutely insanity. But moving on to the new Thunderbolts poster that, and if you live in LA and you've seen Thunderbolts posters around, they had planned ahead for this, and they had parts of the poster removed. exposing the new title of the new Avengers. So they got this poster on Sunset Plaza Drive with the new Avengers on the side of the Wheaties box. They also have this Wheaties box poster, which is like a stand-in, probably at like a movie theater somewhere, that says New Avengers now across the Wheaties box. There's some New Avengers posters. They pretty much changed all the posters they had into the New Avengers posters, so they were ready to go, ripping off that thing. There is a new poster for the New Avengers with all the silhouettes of the Thunderbolts or the New Avengers team walking out. And there's also been an announcement from Hot Toys, if you guys know, my boys over at Hot Toys here, that the Thunderbolts will be getting a lineup of figures. So we will be getting a new Bucky, it looks like, a new Taskmaster, Yelena, Red Guardian, Ghost, you know. So I don't know about y'all, I don't know if I'll get the entire team. I don't see John Walker in this mix, actually. Interesting. I probably would get John Walker, but I will be getting Yelena, I will be getting Red Guardian. I probably, just for shits and gigs, will get Taskmaster and Ghost. And I did just get a Bucky, but if it's the new Bucky with long hair and he's got the you know, the new outfit that he's wearing at the end of like the post-credit scene, if you know what I mean, I would get that figure for sure. But just his normal outfit in the Thunderbolts, it's kind of just all black, you know what I mean? There was also some information released recently that I believe his name is Matthew Wood, and he's a voice actor who is going to be voicing Herbie in the Fantastic Four movie, which leaves all of us in the three options we thought who were going to be voicing Herbie, which was Natasha Lyonne, Paul Walter Hauser, and John Malkovich. Wow, I'm proud of myself for pulling that out. So none of them are voicing this character, so each of them are playing their own individual characters. So that, to me now, in my brain, confirms that John Malkovich is Reed Richards' father, Paul Walter Hauser is Mole Man, and Natasha Lyonne is Ben Grimm's girlfriend. That's my guesses, and I'm riding with it. See you guys in July to see if that's true. But an interesting image has been going around Twitter and on social medias that I thought was fascinating, and it looks so real, but where would this image come from? Like, is it promo art that got leaked? Is it something that Marvel leaked out there just secretly, just to try and get into the ether, to get people excited? Because also right now, filming in London, Avengers Doomsday is filming, and we're still trying to figure out which lineup of Avengers will be going up with Sam Wilson against the new Avengers. And maybe they're going to be fighting against each other. You know, I thought maybe they were going to be fighting together to fight something else, but maybe they're going to have a little spat first and fight each other before having to team up. You know what I mean? But this image shows Bucky in his new suit, in like with a white star on his shoulder and like the whole black arm and the long hair, which I love. You see Wyatt Russell's Johnny Walker with the hat with the A on it and the A on his shoulder of his armor now. We do see Sentry over there with the yellow eyes. We see Yelena with longer hair. Shang-Chi in his rings with Falcon. Danny Ramirez is Joaquin Torres with Sam Wilson going up against Bucky. And then Shuri up there in the top corner, so like, you know, you get 4-on-4 here. Nice little image of, hey, this could be some new Avengers, this could be some of Sam's new Avengers, you know what I mean? But I love this image so much, and it's bringing me back to like the vibes of like Secret War, or not Secret War, of Civil War, where like, you know, Cap's fighting Tony, and we get like our heroes fighting against each other, which then leads into a Avengers Infinity War, you know what I mean? So maybe in Avengers Doomsday we get kind of a Captain America Civil War where it's heroes fighting heroes, and then that leads them to having to come together to defeat Thanos in Endgame, you know what I mean? Defeat whoever, Doom or whoever's the big bad in Secret Wars, you know what I mean? Very interesting. But I know it would be really cool to see both of those lineups of the new Avengers, you know, the Thunderbolts, Sam Wilson's new Avengers, and I would love to see all of them across from the original Avengers, right? Like, it's the multiverse, it's time travel, it's time logic. Like, you're telling me we can't just pluck the original 6 Avengers and plop them in front of Sam or the Thunderbolts, even if it's just a joke and they get wiped out or something? Like, you know, I'd love to see the old Star-Spangled Man with a Plan Captain America and the blue and red and like the very blue and the corny helmet and just, you know, I could do this all day, and them all looking at him like, shut up, we can all do this all day, like, but either way, I think the Smash panel, if you guys know from the comics of like, the Avengers going up against the X-Men is going to look so crazy in that movie, and I can't wait for that shot. But other than that, Marvel news we'll be talking more about in the future, and as far as Marvel television shows, the Daredevil Born Again breakdowns are already on the channel, so go check that out if you haven't. But Ironheart is coming up in June, excuse me, and comes out June 24th, so stay tuned for Ironheart, and we do have this Empire exclusive image here, which I think we've seen before, of Riri Williams, Dominique Thorne, in her Ironheart suit, and I just can't wait to see what this full suit looks like. And honestly, it'll just be nice to have an Iron Man suit back in the fold, you know, and somebody wearing an iron suit, and like, we all loved Iron Man, so yeah, it would be nice to have an iron person back. And some people are going to hate it. They made Iron Man a woman. They didn't make Iron Man a woman. Tony Stark's dead. And I got news for you. He's coming back as Dr. Doom. They made Tony Stark Dr. I don't hear you complaining about that. No, but they made him a woman. There's people that crying out there. Losers. Absolute losers. If that's the type of takes you have, I don't want to talk to you. Go fuck yourself. But it's not a woman's taking over Iron Man. A woman is Ironheart, a completely different character inspired from Iron Man. It's not taking Iron Man and destroying him. Like babies, absolute babies. The things that you guys do care about versus what you don't care about are so fucking stupid. I can't even listen to most of you. Like, some moron the other day was commenting what he hated about the Transformers sequels. And it's like, listen, or Transformers, the Terminator sequels. The first two were great. They came out in 84 and 91. It's been 30 plus years, and they wanted to make a new one. What are you mad about? Oh, it's not like the original. They destroyed the original. Oh my god. And it's like, they didn't destroy anything. You want to watch the original? Go watch it. There's nothing destroying anything. I've never watched another movie and been like, you know what? This destroys that other movie. Oh my god, I can't even watch that other movie because this movie was so bad it destroyed it. You sound like a loser and an absolute crazy person. Like, get out of my face with those stupid ass comments. Like, sure, it's valid, it's your feelings, whatever, but refrain from leaving those type of comments. You know, I'm a positive person. I'm not like these losers on the internet that you're gonna hear just clickbaiting, oh, it's terrible, you know, for views. Like, I don't do this for views. I do this for my own mental health, to be able to have some fucking place to talk my shit about the things I want to talk about. You know, and if you want to engage with me and talk back, that's great. I'd love to talk with you guys and talk about something we like and enjoy. I don't want to hear what you don't like, you know, unless it's a valid criticism. But like, most of the valid criticisms you morons have are not valid criticisms. They're fucking, that thing in the background I didn't like, whatever, dude. Like, it's not that important. Moving on to some DC news before we wrap it up here today. There was a Peacemaker Season 2 trailer that dropped over the weekend on the channel, so go check that out if you haven't, and my little breakdown and reaction to the things I saw on that. But the biggest thing I saw was this poster with Eagly and Peacemaker on the cover, and August 21st, so stay tuned for that if you're looking for some Peacemaker Season 2 coverage. But also comment below if you'd like me to recap and rewatch Peacemaker Season 1 for the channel, for the people that might have missed that. But the trailer ended with this crazy shot of two John Cenas and two Pacemakers, and one of them's got him at gunpoint, and he says, "Who the fuck are you?" And the only details that are important in that image, really, is that there's two John Cenas, and that the Peacemaker outfit there has the symbol of the Peacemaker bird on his chest and helmet flipped so that they're, you know, orientated in the other way, you know, pointing out that this is a different universe, different Peacemaker. But also some great DC news. We got a giant billboard poster in Times Square that says Superman, new trailer coming Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. James Gunn's going to be dropping a trailer on Wednesday. So there will be a Superman trailer reaction coming out Wednesday some point. And then I think also the season finale of Andor Season 2 and the final 3 episode breakdown for that show So stay tuned for that if you're a fan as well. But I am super jazzed. You know, we've only seen a teaser and a preview of the Superman trailer. So this is like the actual trailer. I'm excited. There's also this image we have here from the exclusive Screen Rant preview from 2025 with where they're in like the what is that called? The no, that's Doctor Strange. The Sanctum, their Fortress of Solitude. There it is. I knew I had it in there. Oops, up here. The Fortress of Solitude, there with the crystals and everything, and the robots, and Crypto. And it looks like Superman's trying to give Crypto some orders, and Crypto doesn't seem like he's listening. There was also a behind-the-scenes featurette that was released that looked interesting. I'm not going to take a look at that here. I was going to, but this video is getting a little lengthy. But just know that James Gunn did release a behind-the-scenes featurette that has some real interesting looks, and, you know, explains maybe the reason why James Gunn, instead of doing any project in the world that he could have done, why he wanted to do Superman, and where his love for Superman came in with Christopher Reeve, I'm sorry. But really good featurette, so go check that out if you haven't, and very excited for Superman coming up in July. But just to end today's show, we got some baddies and some gorgeous outfits at the Met Gala. Of course, first here we have Sabrina Carpenter in her kind of penguin-esque outfit, I thought, with the giant tails dragging behind her, and she went for legless outfit, which I think makes her look taller, although she is about 5 foot nothing, and in giant platform shoes. But the train on that dress does look really good, and the legs were legging. I will give it to her. But of course, Zendaya is crushing it in this all white and the hat, the sun hat. Does she have short hair right now? Did she crop her hair? Is that for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey? Because I'm pretty sure she's also in that, but there was also this commercial recently that I saw her in that it maybe was for that. I don't know. Comment below, why is Zendaya's hair short? We got My Only Male that I saw with just an absolutely dripped out look, and this is Brian Tyree Henry, my boy Fastos from the Eternals. And honestly, Brian Tyree Henry's hilarious, and I love him as an actor. But he's looking skinny and slim, and I like the red and the boots and the the robe, like the material there, like the pattern looks really cool. Yeah, man, he dripped out. Brian Tyree Henry looking good, man. We got Io Adabiri, I think I said her name right, but Boston's own Io. Hey, shout out to her, shout out the bear, and she's looking hella good in this like red and white with this black leather and flowing behind her. Yeah, she looks sexy as hell. And the final person I want to look at in this all purple hourglass figure, Rachel Brosnahan, friggin' Lois Lane herself from that upcoming Superman movie. God damn, she is so beautiful, and Rachel Brosnahan is absolutely going to fuck my day up when I see her as Lois Lane as in Superman. I'm a sucker for a love story, and I know James Gunn is going to just, you know, have this great superhero movie. There's going to be, you know, heart, there's going to be humor, and then he's going to sneak in this little love story between friggin' Superman and Lois Lane that I'm going to be sitting there just, oh, eating up. I love a love story. Comment below your favorite rom-coms. If you got any movie recommendations from me, I'd love those. But that's it for me today on this Comically Boston Weekly Nerdy News. Stay tuned for next Monday for the same thing. We like to talk about posters and the new news that have come out over the last week following nerddom, whether that's movies, Marvel, DC, sometimes fashion shows, sometimes video games. You know, we keep it broad but fun. So come by and join me, talk about some news, and hopefully this informed you on some stuff you missed from the last week, or, you know, maybe you just like hearing what people have to say about shit that's going on in the world. But thank you guys so much for coming on by. If you haven't seen Thunderbolts, aka the new Avengers, I'm sorry for spoiling it for you, but try not to see spoilers on Twitter and other social medias. But definitely go check out my Thunderbolts breakdown on the channel. That movie was awesome, and I had a lot of thoughts about it. So thank you guys so much for coming on by. If you'd like to follow my other social medias, links down in the description below. Go check out my Letterboxd or my other social medias. 2 G's in the Big, pretty much anywhere. Big Cam. You'll find me. Just look for this ugly face. Thank you guys so much for coming on by. And if you've made it this far, please consider supporting the channel by liking this video, commenting down below. Hit that bell if you don't want to miss next week's Comically Boston Weekly Nerdy News podcast. Once again, my name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.